down, and then we'll hand things over to Rajesh.
Okay.
So while waiting for that, it's actually Sushant. It's actually Sushant. Raj is my co-founder, but
okay. Well, there you go.
I'll be trying to take this one.
Okay, how do I do this?
Okay, we're all done there. Susan, if you could mute your mic, and Sushant, nice to see you. And we're going to go ahead and get you your 10 minutes starting now. Go ahead.
Do it. Thanks, Oren. Hi, everyone. Great conference so far and startup talks. Thank you for having me. I'm Sushant Shankar, co-founder and CEO of HealthPals. We have the clinical intelligence platform. And we see two problems in medicine. In medicine today, only about 50% of medical decisions are based on medical evidence. The second is that the medical evidence that we do have in healthcare that we use for clinical management is based on a one-size-fits-all approach. So clinical trials are the best examples, but guidelines in general are taking the average case. What we need to do to solve this problem is two things. One is improve the distribution of whatever guidelines we come up with. The second is improve the compliance with the current medical evidence and guidelines. If we get this model right, we get these accurate insights, this will enable the prevention of disease. And just for cardiology, this is a huge problem. This will save 14 million lives and $1 trillion worldwide. Some of the main beneficiaries outside the patient individual are life science companies, insurance companies, and health systems. These are the customers that we serve. So what do we do here? We improve compliance to the guidelines, and we improve the medical evidence. So we fill in those blue circles, and then we make sure that it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. So what does this mean? What is the value proposition here for each of these companies? For life science companies, we actually ensure that the right patients take the right drugs, and for medical device companies, get the right medical device diagnostics or treatments at the right time. This translates for life science companies, who are our customers, to decrease clinical trial costs and time to market by as much as 50%. For insurance companies and government health systems, by closing care gaps and by improving their protocols, we're able to save money for insurance companies and for health systems. In particular, for insurance companies, we're able to decrease medical and life claims for members by as much as 30%. For government health systems, we decrease the disease burden and then the treatment costs by up to 30%. So we do have strong case studies and customers in the market for each of these segments, which we're right now using to go after early adopters in each of these segments. We found that it's very important to find the right partners, the customers, to enable us to get to the next stage, the next level of customer access, and the credibility of these partners. For example, for life sciences, it's crucial that we work with the FDA, and we are actually, we started a project with them related to COVID and a real-world data analytics project. The last project was to help inform the decisions on hydroxychloroquine. We also work with a top 3 insurance company, Reinsurance Group of America, the largest health reinsurance company in the world, American College of Cardiology, that produces these guidelines in cardiology, Stanford and Sorbonne Jurong, the largest infrastructure maker in Asia-Pac. So what does CLINT do? CLINT stands for Clinical Intelligence. We consume data to produce accurate, actionable insights to those 3 customer segments. We have about 2.05, just north of 2 billion patient life years of clinical data that we've amassed over the last few years. What CLINT does is it takes medical science and combines that with data science. And so it's able to provide those insights on adherence to guidelines and current medical science, and better able to optimize within those guardrails of evidence. So let's break this down. This is the fundamental unit. This is the descriptive part of being able to map patient data, EMR, claims, other ways, into guidelines and custom protocols This could be care gaps. For example, these are the 5 things that this patient needs to do as per guideline recommendations, and here are the 2 that you're not doing. Or it could be risk models to be able to predict the outcome of someone having a stroke or a heart attack. This is an example of an existing risk model that's there in literature that we're able to provide visually to providers and to health system administrators, for example. So how do we improve guideline adherence and improve medical evidence? We first do this as a fundamental unit, and then we are able to do this for an individual patient, to take that descriptive knowledge and be able to provide treatment recommendations and risk assessments for each individual and aggregate that at the population level. Then we're able to actually build our own risk models, our own predictive model for any outcome across disease states. And so we can actually tell, or I'll take an example, you have 10 guideline recommendations. We can actually tell which combination of those recommendations, based on patients like you, based on data in over 1 in 2 adults in the US, is going to result in the best outcome. So this could be all-cause mortality, stroke, and others. And in terms of what we actually deliver to customers, it does depend on the specific use case, but it usually starts with the report, which is a project to answer a specific set of questions, 1 or 2 use cases, and then API and dashboards to be able to, for the customer to license this, to be able to answer many questions and across many disease states. We spent the last 6 years obtaining the most patient data of any digital health startup. So this graph here on the left is a log scale of the patient life years. And the reason it's patient life years is that the longitudinal component of it is extremely important. And so we have about 150 million unique patients over a decade of their information for EMR, and a subset of that is linked to claims data as well. And just for comparison, Flatiron here had about 10 million plus or minus patient life years of data, and as some of you might know, they got acquired by Roche for $1.9 billion. Optum is a large $130 billion revenue company owned by United. This is our team. This is me right here, Sushant, and my co-founder Raj. This idea for the company came almost 6 years ago, come February, from Raj's clinic and his work at Stanford. Previously, I have worked in several industries, the common theme being applying machine learning on data to make it useful for enterprises. We have a strong advisory board. Bob Harrington was the president of the AHA and the chair of medicine at Stanford. We are VC backed. What we're doing right now is we need to capitalize on the current market pull. We're actually, with the FDA project and some others, we were looking to help on the COVID side, and as a company, we can capitalize on some of the opportunities there. What we're seeing is a market pull, and something that it's a fun problem to have, which is that we're not able to keep up with the demand. This hasn't been true necessarily for a while. I think it's a combination of market timing as well as the solutions maturity and the case studies that we have. So we've raised 3.5 million in seed in the last few years to build the technology, get this data, build these case studies in cardiology, and we're looking at 3 million to basically get our first licenses from these segments. So just to summarize, I want to make sure we leave a little bit more time for questions. We provide the capability to prevent disease at scale, and we think that preventing disease is one of the most important advancements in human health and life improvement. Thank you. I'd love to answer any questions.
Sushant, that was terrific. Thank you for that. Let's go to the judges and see what questions we have. And then we have a few from the audience as well.
I have a disclosure.
Go ahead.
This is Yuli. I'm an early
Hello,
investor in this company.
Okay.
And I'm not voting.
Thank you for that. Okay. Judges, do we have any questions? Okay. Well, one of our audience members asks, how is this different from Watson?
That's a great question. We actually know some of the leadership at Watson who were there. So Watson, I think, built a AI platform. A lot of it is oncology, and I think the one big difference is that it was not built on medical evidence. So they did go and look at all the clinical trials and all of that. And in the marketplace, I don't think they're actually winning. They're actually better analogs than Watson, who are doing things like this. At a higher level, stepping back, there are companies that are doing AI. There are companies that are doing medical evidence. Typically, the ones who are doing the medical evidence do well in the clinical decision support market segment. The ones who are doing the AI often work better in the claims segment. But really, if you want to provide insights that are actionable at the point of care at the clinical level, even if it's for different stakeholders, you have to combine both of those things. And we're the only company that does that and has the data to be able to provide those as actionable insights.
Okay, great. Rafael Lopez wonders, is this only for cardiology right now, or have you expanded other specialties?
It's a great question. Right now, our case studies are all in the cardiometabolic space, so including things like diabetes and chronic kidney disease, for example, with J&J. But yes, it's all in the cardiometabolic, and part of the round that we're seeking is to actually expand this for all disease states, all chronic diseases, and COVID.
Okay, how about this one's going to make me sound really smart, but I have no idea what it means. Do you have the ability to get granular data that addresses DEI or SES related predictives?
I do. If someone could spell out this acronym.
I don't know either. Ariane, if you want to come on and explain, that would be terrific, because I can't do that. In the meantime,
socioeconomic status. Is that what?
And DEI, socioeconomic status is SES.
Yes.
And what's DEI?
Diversity.
Yeah, diversity.
Demographic. Yep. Oh, diversity. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have the chat.
Can you do that?
Yeah,
can you?
Yep. So as part of the data, I don't think we do all of that right now. I think we can. For example, for diversity, we have ethnicity data. We have the ability to actually say, okay, what are the disparities socioeconomically, ethnically, and that's actually a publication in JAC that's going to come out soon.
Okay. What's the dollar magnitude of a contract if somebody was to license your work?
That's a great question. The person who asked that question, love to talk to you, and we can discuss that in more detail. We are looking to
Mary Jo Potter.
Okay, thanks. But large.
Okay, good. Quite large. Yes. Okay. And then one last question: real world data implies real life mistakes made by humans. How do you mitigate those errors?
That's a fantastic question. Yeah, part of the reason that American College of Cardiology has partnered with us is so that they can understand we have the tools, even if it's their data set, to be able to say, here's what we're doing well with the guidelines, and here's where we're not doing well. And actually understand, are there types of physicians, are there types of patients where the guidelines are working well, are not adhered to. And so I think we've only started to chip away at the tip of the iceberg. But we have the capability to do that. And but no, we haven't been, and we have the capability to actually show this across the board. But it needs to be a focused effort. But absolutely, that's definitely one of the insights that we provide across the board to the customers. Right now, it's for that pointed use case, but I think we can generalize more and more and provide more insights widely.
Okay, well, thank you very much. This was a really great presentation. We appreciate it. Willie, if we could start the poll for HealthPals and everybody could give us their feedback, that would be super terrific. And in the meantime, let's have Penny Semple from StressPal start getting ready to do her presentation.
Here, Oren, this is for you.
Oh, it's Jeopardy. Thank you. We have 40 seconds. Thank you. That's
I
perfect.
couldn't resist.
Pancreatic cancer. Okay, 20 seconds. Okay. And Sushant, if you can still hear, there look like there may be one or two more questions in the chat. If you could answer them, that would be great.
I will. Thank you, everyone.